Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. This week I'm switching gear and I'm going to start with a lantern and I'm going to make it into a library. And as I said in my, I did a little video a week or so ago to say that I was sort of struggling with what my next project would be and I need to take a break from Crossley House a little bit. That's not to say that behind the scenes I'm carrying on with Crossley House. The other thing I wanted to mention to you all is that when I do these recordings, I schedule them weeks in advance. So for instance, I have one that will come out on Easter Saturday morning. There's no mention of Easter. That's not to say I'm not thinking of Easter, and I might sneak a little one in to wish you all a happy Easter, but the way I schedule now is I'm getting as far ahead as possible. So when I go on my 2-week adventure to Uganda to do good deeds, I'm going to have sufficient programs backed up, ready for you to watch. So let's see what I'm going to get up to now. So here's the lantern. I'm going to take the lid off. I've got an idea for the lid, but it's a metal lid and I want it to look like I think it's either weathered brass or weathered copper, where it goes into a greeny colour, a verdigris. So I've got this now. I've gone ahead, advanced on this, and I've ordered up the spiral staircase. I've also given it a coat of paint. I sprayed it, the carcass of it, because I wanted to see where there were really grotty little bits that maybe I could do something about. So here we are, and here is one spiral staircase. Now I've ordered this online, and what I shall do is in the description, I am going to put the company. It's an Etsy shop I bought it from. You can get them in black and you can get them in white. Now, I don't know why, but I just thought having a white one might be quite nice. What I love about this is the construction. And I've been trying it out to see how it would work. It spirals up anti-clockwise. So you've got to decide where your first piece is, and then you carry on up until you get to the next floor, which is only here. But this is where the spiral. So actually, I won't use all of the contents. But what they provide you with are these posts. And I reckon that 2 posts, I've got 3 in all, but I think that 2 posts will bring me nicely onto the upper floor of this library. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and start gluing this all together. It does talk about using super glue. It talks about using super glue with, and what did she say? It says continue gluing treads and handrails until the desired height. Oh yes, when you join the handrails in the position, use super glue and accelerant spray. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this, and I'm going to build it 2 pipes high, 2 centerpieces high, and then I will look at it then and decide how many steps I'm going to need in total and go from there. Sorry folks. Ozzy's got his friend Billy and they're running around the garden creating mayhem. So let's get cracking and we'll see what I can do with this. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's get this sorted. Now on this, there's clearly a front, which is this area here, and that is the back. So as per instructions, the first one goes in. What I need to do is I need to glue the bottom edge, and just like so. And I think I can just, actually it might be easier if I go down with this and I just put it, oh, no, it's gone. There we go. That's the ground, that's the first one in, and that's perfect. I don't think there is a base one to work with. No, there isn't. Okay, so the next one going in, I've got to glue the bottom edge, because when it goes in, it will sit on that edge. Oh, sorry, sit on that edge, and it will carry on round. So what I'll do is I'll just glue the area there. Whoopsie daisy. Yes, there's no support on the back of it. Let's just see if I can use, what have I got there? Will that work? Oh, that might work. Right, so let me slot this one down. But before I get, oops, careful, listen. Before I get it right to the bottom, I just want to put some super glue on there. And then when you drop it into place, onto the glue, you also put that into place there. I don't know whether you can see that. So you're starting this spiraled process. And I think the super glue is going to work quite nicely for this. Yes, it is a shame I haven't got something that I could just sit it on. No, I haven't. Okay, I'll carry on working. Oh gosh, that's Billy. I tell you what, when Billy goes home, Ozzy is absolutely shattered and exhausted. Billy's a very, very active Westie. He never stops, and he's sort of, oh, it's like Ozzy breathes a sigh of relief when Billy's gone home. But we love having him here, and he's ever so good. So it's just for an hour or so while his owner actually is having new kitchen flooring put down and also bathroom flooring. So Billy does not need to be in the way of all that going on. Right, so I'm just going to hold that. It's climbing quite nicely. Now then, I don't know how much this is in dollars, but I can tell you, I think I paid under £20 for this. And clearly this has been designed, and I think it's 3D printed. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, careful. It will work really well. Oh gosh, I've just tried to super glue my finger onto the pole. So there we go, that's it. And I think what I'll do now is I'm going to let this dry. Oh yeah, I am going to let this dry because there's too much going on and these are not going to settle into place, and they do need to settle into the correct place. You see, they've all come out. So let's see what I can do. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to find my clamps. Okay, I have just clamped that first section. I'm just wondering whether, yes, I probably could carry on. Let me carry on building and then keep the process going and just clamp where needed. And I'll carry on as long as I've got these slightly lighter sprung clamps. Oh, let's get that. Just taking that in. Oh, careful, Leslie. Just turning that. And then I need to clamp that. That's it. Oh, no, not quite. Oh, no. It's quite a fiddle. It's quite a fiddle. There we go. That's where it needs. That's where it needs to be. And golly, it doesn't want to glue. I can see why you would use the glue with the activator. I don't have any of that left anymore, so I'm just sticking with the super glue. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to put one more on this. Let me just make sure I've got a suitable clamp. So let me just gather my glue around the pole. I might have to go to our local hardware store, but we've got an ironmonger's in the local town, and I have to tell you, it's brilliant. May that shop never stop. And I don't know why, of all the shops I could possibly want to own, I'd have an ironmonger's. I think they're just brilliant. You go in and they've got everything you need. And I think it's very important that we support our local businesses. This guy is just wonderful. Such a nice chap. Go in. And I'm always using my hands and trying to describe what I want, and somehow he works it out. So I'm going to have to go in for some glue and activator. But that's as far as I can get with this. I can't do any more. I tell you what though, I'm beginning to feel like this might look absolutely glorious if I did it in the same green as I want to do the roof. But the idea is that once this is gone, this is sorted, and it goes that way up, you run round and you start adding this on. It's, oh, I'm so excited. So there we go. I'm going to have to leave that to go off for a wee while, because the next bit is that I've got to, actually, it might be a good idea if I did this, because that means the next post is, I'm probably going too far ahead too quickly, but this is definitely a super glue job. It is not the job for wood glue. This is all plastic, but oh, I think it's fantastic. So I'm going to put that in there, like so. Going to turn him round to here, put a blob of glue on there, pitch that into the right place there, grab, I think I've run out of my blue ones, here we go, oh no, there's one there, let me put that, oh careful, put that one on there, like so. And then I'm going to fill up this hole, she says, almost running out of glue. There we go. I've got it all down the sides. That wasn't clever, Leslie. This off. Oh, just on that. Yaddy, yaddy, yaddy. There we go. So come back to this. I think this will look rather lovely. Could be sort of a library with a bit of a, I don't know, orangery feel about it. So that's where I'm going to have to leave this for now. But as you can see, not a difficult make, really not a difficult make. And if you see it, it really is going to work in there quite beautifully. So I'm very pleased with the progress, very pleased indeed. So it's taken me a little bit of time, but I've achieved it and I'm really pleased. I had to take them off the bottom to put them up so they got to the top, but that's now complete. I do need to get the glue with the activator, because these, whilst they're pliable, I can't work out how on earth I would hold them on with clamps. In this library on the ground floor, I've decided that I want to obviously, I think, block off the back. And I will block the back off with this piece of card, which I've already pre-cut. And I will also block out that side. And so you've got library all the way round here. But at this point, you'll have this beautiful spiral staircase. And then I think I will do the same. So I suppose I'm creating something, you know, this this has to have space cut out upstairs. I can't really explain it. You've got to be here almost to... I wish you all were. Mind you, I don't know how I'd make all the teas and coffees. But anyway, I do want to put that in. I'm going to have a little think about how I want to set it in. I think I'm also going to have to pilot a hole when I've got this positioned without the clamps, because it'd be easy to work with. I will find out where it is, and I think I am going to pilot a hole, and then I'm going to go in the other way, and I'm going to find a screw that will go up the middle of the spiral staircase. So that's my idea. So I think what I'll do now is I've got some wood glue, and I think I will just take it on its belly, on its back, and grab the glue. Just going to go round and just fit this in, and then I know that the back wall is in. I have to decide on what sort of book casing I'm putting in. I've actually I bought a bookcase, but I'm going to be at Kensington this year. I've never done it before, really looking forward to it, but I'm going to the Kensington Dollhouse fair, and I shall be there on Saturday the 16th. So if you are around and about on the Saturday the 16th of May, I'd be delighted to meet you. Come along, come and say hi. But there we go. That's the back piece gone in, and that was quick and easy. I'm just going to clamp the top. That's a good idea. I've got some seriously big clamps here. So that's good. That's gone in, and then I can paint that out white, or I might even use my lining paper and use that on it, which should be good. Get that one in there, into the corner, and that one into the corner. Okay, so I think that's... Oh, I'll tell you what I will do is I'm going to clamp these two corners here. I should. Yeah, I should. There we go. Oh, great. I knew holding on to little clamps was a good idea. I've got really small ones that I'm using on the staircase. Slightly bigger ones, but can always find a use for them. So there we go. There's the ground floor. There's the back piece. As I say, I'm probably going to put some lining paper on. I won't paint it because I really don't know what colour I'm going to do my bookcases in. I'm big on wood, but there's something about doing something a little different and having a bit of an adventure. The spiral staircase is dried. There we go. And I'm really pleased with that. That's gone together beautifully. I've still got to get the specialist glue with the activator so I can get the railings on. Now, what I do know is that this whole setup, if you were to go straight across the circle here, is 100 mil, 10 centimetres, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out 10 centimetres, or 5 centimetres and a half from the wall, which means that the staircase can come up here in this area, but it won't affect when I glaze the windows, etc. So what I'm going to do is I've pushed it right back against the edge, and I'm just marking out 55 mil, and I'll do it at the front as well, so I know that I've got an accurate measurement. I'm going to run... That's interesting. That's not... Sorry, I've made the wrong measurement there. Should have made it inside this return here. So if I go, as I said, 55 mil, I'm going to run a line down, and then I'm going to measure up 55mm again, because I still want it to be clear of the door closing that goes on the front. So that, I think, let me just make sure that's absolutely spot on. No, why have I got that measurement so wrong? I've got 55, which is not there, Leslie. It's slightly lower. I should be going to the opticians in April, I think. I think that's when my next appointment's due. I can't wait. I really can't wait. So if I just run across here, and I run it to that point there, and then I run from there to there, which is right. So the theory is that that is the size of the spiral staircase. Well, what I'm going to do, as I thought I might, is I'm going to pilot a hole right in the middle, and I'm going to pilot that down, and then when I come to do it, I shall fit this in as I want it. So if I put it on the hole there, I know that the last step, that end of the tread, is running parallel with this. Also, it reduces the amount of space, obviously, upstairs, but I think that's going to be okay. I'm quite happy with that. There'll be books along the back, and I think I'm going to put books along here. I might decide to just leave it that I've got a back area of books. Haven't quite decided. I don't want this to loom. I'm going to say it. I'm not a huge fan. Please don't unsubscribe because I'm about to say this, but in the Harry Potter films, there's a sort of, the shops are very dark and there's lots of shelves. Well, I don't really want it like that. I want it a lot lighter, and I want you can feel comfortable and relaxed with calm colours. I don't want it looking, I suppose what I don't want is I don't want it looking Victorian, Dickensian. That's the right word. I don't want it looking Dickensian. So, okay, so I think this is sort of a modern structure with some nice shelving. So, talking of shelving, I found this. Now, very sadly, this, I don't think, I've tried to put it in, but it won't go in flat against the back wall. But what I am going to do is I'm going to use this as a bit of a template so that I can have the bookshelves, and I've got the nice column finishes here. I'm not sure about the curved top, but I'm going to see what I can create. And so I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 shelves, and then I'll have this nice decorative trim skirting board, baseboard, whatever you want to call it, on the bottom, and I think I might match it up the top. But I'd like to have floor to ceiling on that level. So the other thing I have to work out is when I put, sorry, Ozzy's having words, is normal. Yes, Ozzy. What I do need to do is I need to work out the exact height. So if I bring that round to there, this sits higher by what I would think is about, let's have a look, I'm trying to find my little ruler. It's sitting about 3 mil. So the upper floor ideally could do with being 3 mil. This hardboard is 3 mil. Maybe I can create the floor out of another sheet of hardboard. So eventually I can cut this piece off. What else to say? I think that's pretty much it. I'm highly delighted with this. This is working out exactly as I would like, but I'm quite keen, I think, to get the flooring in, and so it can take care of get the next floor in, so it takes care of this, and then I think I can safely take some measurements for the back wall being all bookshelves. So there we go. Lots to think about. Got to do it in a certain order, obviously. I'm going to have all the electrics run out of the back wall. I'm not going to mess about. I'm going, you know, I'll have some overhead lighting and everything. It can go through the back wall, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do with what generally looks like spaghetti junction for me out at the back. So there we go. That's it so far. I'm really pleased. I think I'm going to work out the flooring now in order that I can possibly get this fitted. But it will only have to be a temporary fix because, of course, I've got so much to think about in terms of what goes in next. What do I do next? Do I build? It may be that I need to build the bookcase. I need to build the bookcase, and then I can go from there. And also look at what colour I might like. What colour I might like to make my spiral staircase. At the moment, I'm going for a colour that I absolutely love, which is Chartwell Green. It might be too hard. It might be too much for this. It may be that I go to something like, I don't know, an olive green, or I'm just thinking of the plant. There's a plant that has like a silvery, greeny grey. I don't know. I'm going to have a think about it. I'm also going to have a think about the plant, the name of the plant as well. So there we go. That's it. That's a good job done. I'll put it away safely to one side. And I think I need to start thinking about getting the flooring in and deciding which bits of this I'm going to board off. It may be that on the ground floor, I just have it along the back and down the side, and then I could put some planting or seating area, and you've got light flooding in and flooding in at the front, and then when we get upstairs, that'll be a whole different thing altogether. I've also got to check out that I'm going to have enough wood. That may be another order I have to put in before I can proceed with this any further. So that's it for part one. Very pleased with how it's all panning out. Next time I'm sure you're going to start seeing the back shelving going in. Another thing to mention, when I was talking earlier at the beginning of this video, I talked about the scheduling of the films that I have already in place. There is going to be a continuity error coming up. It may be whilst I'm doing this lantern, but I'm proposing to have all my hair removed and have a very, very short haircut in readiness for going to Uganda, as it's going to be hot there, and quite frankly my hair is so thick, I've really got to get it sorted. So I apologise in advance that this continuity error will probably happen, and it'll be happening, and when we go back to Crossley House I'll have the long hair again. But anyway, that's the way it cookie crumbles. This is how I've started my filming. I don't do it on a weekly basis in terms of putting films on. I like to get on with it, and also there's no pressure. And when I've got a lot to do, then I can break it up into chapters for you, and you can see what I'm getting up to. And at the moment, it's a lovely weekend. It's right at the end of March, and the clocks will spring forward an hour next weekend. So here I am, and I'm gone, and I shall see you all on the next episode, which should be more of the lantern. Anyway, please, if you haven't, do subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye for now, folks. Bye.